What can I or we do to draw on the power to step forward? How do we transmute the fear? Each of you are going to have a different path. That's the first thing out the gate, okay? Your path, Ariel, versus somebody else's path is going to be different. But the overall theme is the same. Fear holding you back, or the worry of what others will think about you. She never cared much what others thought about her. All right, I can relate. I can totally relate. She's just talking about the desire within you, the energy within you that is drawing you to step forward. Like that need, that feeling to step forward is going to intensify, and it's going to get stronger and stronger until it's uncomfortable. And the only way out of it is to step forward. So she's really saying you can do it the hard way, or you can do it the easy way. The easy way is just to rip the Band-Aid off and start doing it. And let Spirit guide you as to the next steps to take along your journey. Each of your journeys being unique and different to the other. So that's your choice. You can hang back and let the fear control you, and the desire within you to step forward increases and intensifies. That's the hard way. And the easy way is just to step forward and do it. That's the easy way. And then Spirit will help you. The second is interesting because you're like, well, how am I going to do it? How is this going to happen? How this and this and that? I used to do the same thing. And what I realized was when you start working with them, your teams, is when you step off and you just trust and have faith and you just follow them and you haven't got a frigging clue what's going to come next. I remember moments where I had like $10 in my bank account. And they were like, turn the car around and head home, Kristin. You're not taking this job. And I did. I listened to them. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. You know, literally $10 in my bank account. But they always steered me out of it. But the thing is like, unless you trust and have faith and step off like that, and you just kind of hand it to them and let them figure it out for you, essentially, you're never going to know. So now I look at it like an exciting thrill ride, and I'm like, all right, I don't know how this is going to play out, but I'm not going to know unless I do it. And all right, I'm stepping off. I trust and have faith. You guys will catch me. Let's go. That's like my motto now. Because you know what's worse than that? Way worse than that, that temporary hesitation and fear and then stepping off. What's worse than that is living every second in every moment of every day being affected by others' opinions of you and the fear and the worry and the doubt. That's way worse. And I won't live like that again. Sorry if I'm too intense, Ariel. All right, Kristin, let's do this. Sweet. Again. Right on. Do you want me to ask if that's the right decision to make? You're going to quit your job again. Nice. Is it the right... Okay, sorry. I just read the last part of your question. Is it the right choice to make right now? All right. Is it the right choice to make with Kristin quitting her job? Oh, you are just not happy there. Like big time. It's like a 10 out of 10 of not wanting to be at this place. Not an 8 out of 10, not a 7. It's a full-blown 10. I'll tell you, when I've had experiences like this, Kristin, in my life, I just rip the Band-Aid off and I get out of there. And I will hustle to make it my way any other way. And I've done that many times, but that was back then, pre-COVID. So let's ask the angels what they say on this. Do it. They're saying do it. You got the fear there, but there's this ease, like it's going to be okay if you do it. And that's coming from the angels. Okay. Do it. Right before They're saying, and right before summer too. You might have some time to enjoy the sceneries, the energy out. Oh my. What are you showing me there? Have you thought about taking people on like little tour walks, Kristin, where you show them different areas? I see you outside and I see people following you, and they pay you money to come with you, and you show them certain sites and you talk about certain places. Oh, what is that? You could even put, here's a suggestion from the angels. You could start your own business, like guided tours, showing sites and places, different places. But they're also talking about showing people different locations where the fairies reside and the elemental kingdom or energies reside, and having them stand with you and asking them to sense the energies in these locations and asking them what they feel. So you could have the guided tours and then the extra magical guided tours. So you'll have different guided tours for people to come along with you on a journey for a few hours, up to half a day. And they're clapping and smiling. People need this right now. They need to get out into this high vibrational frequency and feel and know that these energies exist and that they are here, and feel them. And they need the land to help them ground them, their energy, and feel better. You're like the perfect person to do this. This is what they feel. It's not just these two kinds of guided tours. There's other guided tours that will come to mind in time. People are bored. They're stuck indoors. They need to get outside. And if you offer something different that nobody else is doing, so the feel here I'm getting is that no one's offering these kinds of services in your area, they're going to be very drawn. Also, the angels are saying the angels will be drawing people to you to come on these guided walk tours. I see something around the line of starting out at $10 per person to come with you for a walk and to learn. Now, the extra magical walking tours, those are going to be more money than that. And it's not just the fairies you're going to show them. Wow. That was pretty full on, eh, Kristin? Don't know if you have any other questions on that one. Self-employment is the way forward. You can work somewhere part-time if you want, but they would rather you work self-employed. Okay. They're talking about when the weather gets bad. Obviously, the walking tours won't be as popular or at all. So you may, on the off season, do something else. But they have other things up their sleeve for you. They're showing up their sleeve for you other than what you have been doing in your off season. All right, Catherine. Is there any time limit as to when karma will be repaid by universe? Been waiting for decades and seems impossible. Okay, so the number one thing I hear from the angels in regards to karma is that with this light permeating the planet and each of us here, it is transmuting the density and the heaviness, which means there's no repayment of karma. There is transmutation of karma or karmic debt and the low vibrational frequencies that surround karma. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are really shifting right now, and we don't need to think about karmic debt or repayment of karma, because this light, these light codes solar flares, solar flashes, ascensions, waves, individual integration of ascension energy through your vessel, the DNA activations, the crystalline DNA development, all of this is going to transmute that which is no longer needed, including karmic debt. Do you want to add to that? Nope. I summed it up quite nicely. All right. So we can let that go. And how do we do that, Catherine? Angels, please take any thoughts about karma or karmic debt being repaid. Transmute all heaviness into the light for me. And I will be aware of when low vibrational thoughts, feelings, and emotions come up within me and catch them in the moment and give them to you to transmute into the light over and over again. And if I don't remember through the day, I will sit at the end of the day and I will think about 10 different things I'm going to give my angels to take and or help me with. And that's my homework. What is special with my hands? Energies are changing through your hands. I see red energy with you. Red. Red. I see. It's more like I see the red energy. I think you've had many lifetimes in India, and I see red rubies, and I see hands being henna on the hands, you know, like you would do before you get married. I see Lakshmi, Ganesh, Shiva. I see many of them. They're still lining up here. Many. They're going down so far down. Like there's a long list of them working with you. And they've been working with you through many lifetimes. They're talking about love, the frequency of love flowing through your hands. And you are also very love-filled. And there's a lot of love that flows from you easily and effortlessly. Would you say so, Rusha? I see the red again. The red energy flows through you. If there's an animal that needs you, or a person, they want you to start practicing putting your hands on them. I don't know if you are doing this already. You need to be doing this. And you don't really have to think any thoughts in particular. Just place your hands, and they'll know what you're doing. And then they will amplify that through you in order to fill the vessel of whomever you're placing your hands upon with more light and love. They are calling you a great blessing for the earth in this incarnation being here on earth. Wow. They want you to start practicing using your hands. Hands on animals and people. Okay. Irene, how can you help someone that refuses to grow or evolve? It'll be the same. They're saying the same thing that I have been hearing for years, Irene. Because, you know, as the indigo kid I am, I love to like, you know, tell everybody my thoughts and opinions, but the angels have other plans. Here it goes. Ready? Allow others to be as they choose. Step back. Live your life. Be happy. They know that's easier said than done when someone is very close to you or living in your close proximity. But the way, and one of the main ways that you can help them is by lifting and raising your vibrational frequency, and that high vibrational frequency emitted from you directly impacting them indirectly. So as you lift your frequency, your energy will impact them indirectly. Indirectly, right? People will grow and evolve when they are ready. That was the other part that just came through. Yeah, I totally agree. That book that Louise L. Hay produced, it was amazing. You Can Heal Your Life. Huge. I remember going through major health issues, and I was like, this is kind of an old book, but I guess I'll, skim through it. But I felt very directed towards it. So I thought, well, I'm willing to give anything a chance, because at that point I'd been unwell for a year straight, and I couldn't eat food, and I lost my period, and I was down to like 100 pounds. So, it was a godsend, that book. Yeah. Wow. Ariel, guess who doesn't care about other people's thoughts of you stepping forward? Everybody on the other side. Literally. I'll never hear my angel say, oh, the masses might not be ready for that, Kristin. Like, you better tone it down. I'll never hear her say that. Or, Kristin, I know that you're a little scared. Maybe you should just hang back. No. She will never say that. No. You know what I do see her do, though? She watches me step forward going full throttle, and then she's laughing. That's what I see. Some will get it, and some won't. Some will resonate towards you, and some won't. Some will be irritated by you. Some will love you. You will never win. You will never get, everyone will not get what you're doing. Sometimes you're not even going to get what you're doing because you're channeling it from spirit, and it takes a bit of time to process exactly what they're saying. Sometimes I have to watch myself back on camera just to fully get the full impact of what I channeled. And sometimes when I'm crying while I'm channeling, I'll watch myself back, and then I'm crying, watching myself cry while I'm channeling. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We're just moving in the direction that feels good, that feels right, where you're in the flow and you're happy. Move in that direction and do not delay. Don't delay. Okay. You want to know if you're moving in the right direction, okay? For Ruvet. She's asking you, Louise. Louise is letting your angels take it, okay? Because they know more than she does. Yeah, that's true. So we're going with your angels. Your angels, you don't work with your angels as often, Ruvet. You don't talk to them. It's okay that you don't, but they'd like you to step forward and start talking with them more. Or if you're doing it from time to time, we need to step it up and start moving in a direction where you're really like writing down a list of everything you want help with and start talking with them. Okay. There's that distance between you and them, but nonetheless, they're here anyways. So is she moving in the correct direction? Yes. Yes, you are. And you know you are. You're feeling drawn in this direction that you're moving in, even though you don't really have steady footing and it's not feeling entirely comfortable yet. You're not quite sure why it feels right to move in this direction. There's a lot of uncertainty. That's why we need to talk with our angels to help bring in the clarity and the certainty and the confidence. We need confidence. Our angels can help bring that in. Help to a point. But anything is good, right? You need to start talking with them more. They're really like quiet because I don't think you talk with them very much. Well, I'm all ears. So if you want to add anything else in, this is all new to you. And we're taking it in baby steps, okay? I don't take baby steps, but this all here that you're learning is new to you. So it's important that you take, bite-sized pieces to fully process everything you're learning at this point, at this time. What matters most is that you're just moving in this direction. And you moving slowly is okay. It's just the fact that you're moving in this direction is good. Okay, I hope that was something that you understood. I'm looking for specific questions. So if you have a specific question, go ahead and type it. I think that those walking tours with you, Kristin, are going to be a friggin' hit. People get tired of hanging out inside. They can come out and go for a beautiful walk with you, and now we're all going to stand and feel the fairies. Watch it be a sea of women. I got a good feeling about that. Okay, what is your next step on your spiritual business journey with Amanda? Grounding. A whole lot of grounding. You know, when you have like, this is a great idea. This is a great idea. I'm going to go take this in training. I'm going to go learn that. Now I'm going to go learn this. Now I'm going to learn that. And it's great to have all these tools in our tool belt. But if we're so spread out, it's hard to find the clarity as to what path I am to take. And sometimes we'll take this is all coming from them. Sometimes we'll take a path and we'll learn something that will help further us along on the spiritual path. But we're not meant to do this forever. It's just meant to inspire us and ignite us. There's a great fire within you ignited, but you're not entirely sure as to where to take it. You know that there's something that you're meant to be doing in order to help others. But the angels are first asking you to slow down, create more stillness within, ground yourself often, and this is helping you. Slow down, ground yourself. That will help them transmute any leftover heaviness. They're talking about when you get to a point when you're going to help the masses. It's really important that we are on level playing field, meaning that our foundation is stable and that we can build the layers up from our foundation in order to help others. They're showing like a pyramid, like in Egypt. Like they did start building pyramids and they left them because they built the foundation out of the wrong material. So then they moved to a different site and they started again. And then they built them even bigger, right? Even bigger. You'll know when you get there. You will know when it's time. We will guide you when it's time. For right now, it's about you helping yourself and you helping us help you by grounding yourself, slowing down, creating more stillness within. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Caroline, the restrictions are lifting. At least for now, right, Caroline? That's not going to be forever. At least that's what I hear from the angels. So in regards to your spiritual development, This year is a lot of rest and relaxation. That's largely what I hear them tell me to do. It's what they're telling everybody to do. But like, how much rest and relaxation are we supposed to do? So if we want to take action steps, maybe more intermittent action steps when we have the energy, and then resting, because we have these waves of energy coming in that are flatlining us. Like this past week, I haven't had the best sleep. I've had a like really weird nausea in my stomach. It's on my backside of my stomach, which is weird. But if you think about your solar chakra going through your stomach, right? The backside of the chakra comes out the backside. So it makes sense maybe the nausea is happening on the backside of my stomach if I have a lot of light anchoring through my vessel there. And I've had heart palps. I'm not an anxious type of person, but I'm just like hanging out and I'm like, oh, these heart palps are really, you know, that and the nausea has been a good time. So when we have those kinds of moments, it's really important to rest more, is what I get, which we're going to have intensified. You know, the Schumann resonance is off the charts, right? But it's going to keep being like that throughout the year. This isn't going to slow down. So anything else you want to say to Caroline? Everything that they've already relayed to you, that you already know, is what they like to say again now. But you already know everything that has been said before. And they're just smiling warmly. Okay? Alandra is drawn towards helping other light workers or other people, because there's a lot of people that are soon to be light work or light. What is a light worker? A light worker is using gifts, abilities, training in order to lift and raise your own vibrational frequency and then help others do the same. Really, I suppose is what it is. But, you know, ultimately your frequency first. You can't give from an empty cup, right? But your mind keeps doubting, am I on the right track? Oh yeah, you definitely are being guided. There is no doubt. It's right here. It's been put right in my face. There's a time that's going to come where you will be guided to help others in need. You're already doing some things now. And it's not even necessarily to do with light working. Like if somebody needs you, you're there for them in some capacity or another. There's a lot of isolation as well. Not feeling like you fit in or like others get what you're doing. There aren't many others like you. That's okay. Everybody here in spirit gets you, understands you and what you're doing. If you want to put it in an energy term, they can see your energy, they can see your frequency, so they understand that. They understand what you're going through because they can sense your energy and they're aware of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They see it from a very high vibrational vantage point. There's no judgment or ego there. You will be guided when it's time. They really want you to see where you are drawn. So if you're drawn towards a certain person or a certain job or a certain training, and it's playing on your mind a lot, you go in that direction. That's them guiding you to go. Okay? And that training or that job may not be something that lasts forever. It might be a stepping stone to the next step. Remember that. Remember that. Okay? Okay, so Alyssa's asking about self-employment. Do you have the time for self-employment? That's the question that comes right back to you. Spirit's saying, do you have the time for self-employment? Also the direction, the focus, the grounded energy for self-employment. They're talking about going within and feeling what feels right and what does not feel right. And they want you to ask this question: is self-employment what is best for me at this time in my life? They want you to ask that question and then feel the answer. Okay? Yeah, Catherine, when I heard the angels saying that about karmic debt, that was about 2 years ago. And they started saying it in all the a lot of the readings. And then I started asking questions about that, and I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense, because there's no repayment of something that's going to get transmuted into the light. Like, it's an overhaul that's happening on Earth right now. And yeah, it feels really good too. The other thing they are really talking a lot about is shadow work, focusing on all the dark aspects of yourself over and over, creating more of what? That which you focus upon, you create more of. So they'd rather us shift our attention and focus on to what we appreciate, what we're grateful for, the lighter aspects of our reality. And the light that's permeating the planet through ascension is going to transmute all that heaviness for us anyway. So I don't want to create more of the same. If I focus in on the same, the low vibrational thoughts, I'll just create more of the same, right? So it just makes sense to focus on the light. People that you enjoy spending time with, being happy doing what? Going out into nature, lifting your frequency. And if you have a hard time doing that, what do? I'm having a hard time doing this. I need you to help me do this. And then, anytime we have any heaviness sinking our frequency, hand it to them. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, Christine. I feel like that guidance is so pertinent in your life right now, especially coming up to the summer season. You could really build this business right straight through the summer. Be awesome. Yeah, great question, Dee. Is there any message that would like to come through in regards to the 555 portal today? They're like, if I had a hat right now, here's a pair of shorts. This is what they're like. Get your hat on. Get your seatbelt on. Get ready for the ride. You guys are cracking me up. Anything else you want to say on that? As Kristin says often, get ready to rumble. There's a lot of energy pouring forth, washing over planet Earth right now. They're talking about, I see one portal. I'm looking to see if there's any others, but I don't think. Are there two or one? One. Okay, one. I have an energy coming in on the back side of my head, so I'm like, is that the second portal? And then they're like, no, one portal. So that must mean another energy is stepping forward. Because at first I'm like, is that the second portal or what is this? So there's one, is a huge portal. It's not a little portal. They've shown me portals in the past channelings I've done, and they're smaller, and there were several of them. This one's a big one. It's big. If I were to show you how big it is, if I were looking out in space, in my proximity, is huge. It's huge. It's big. Okay? This portal is funneling forth high vibrational frequency washing over the planet. And in the same, this portal is also suctioning the dense frequency into it at the same time. So in comes the high vibrational frequency, getting up, cleansing the planet, and up and out comes the heaviness and gets sucked into the portal as well. Is that what you're saying? Yes. That's fascinating, isn't it? A portal, a 2-in-1 portal. You're going to experience ascension symptoms, heart palps, sleepless nights, thinning of the veil, heightened senses, your gifts, the clairs, sight, hearing, feeling, knowing are going to intensify through these periods. And when they open and intensify, that's where they will stay moving forward. So every time this happens, because it's going to keep happening, P.S., the veil, it'll feel like the veil is thinning each time, and our gifts will be heightened and opened more and more. And as we move forward, they will stay open moving forward. They're talking about when a woman gets pregnant, this woman is bringing in this light through her body and then birthing it into the world. And it's similar or like this in that when the light comes through the vessel, it will open your channels further. Many women have experienced this. How fascinating. So when you're pregnant, you are more sensitive, obviously. We could say that's hormones, right? But they're talking about your gifts that we have opening further and staying open, moving on after having a child. They're using that analogy for you to better understand what this portal is doing at this time. They're also talking about when you have a child, that child helps to lift and raise your vibrational frequency. For a time, they're winking for a time. There are also challenging times too. And depending on the relationship moving forward, where that goes. But they're talking about when you initially give birth, that is a gift that does bring about a great amount of joy. Okay. Wow. Catherine, the one way of improving one's finances is to have abundant thinking. But how do you go into abundant thinking when what is such a lack? Does anybody have the answer to that? How do you go into attracting and manifesting in abundance when what is right in front of you so lack? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, I think those hands of yours, Rusha, are meant for pooling light energy into a vessel. And I feel like there's much more to come with that, but they'll guide you along the way as you move along. Okay. And you'll feel it likely coming out of your hands. And then your pet, for example, practicing with your pet, the pet will probably just be loving it up. How do you know when you're on the right path of your life purpose? Does anybody have the answer to that? How do you know? How do you know when you're on the right path? I'm going to move down to the bottom and see what you guys are answering. Boy, there's a lot of questions and such. All right. How do you know? Isn't that cool, Alyssa? So you understand that your spiritual awakening happened with your second child. So much energy pooled through your body, and that created the awakening. Isn't that fascinating? See, I have not had a child, so I understand what they're saying, but to hear that feedback is huge. I'm sure Ariel would love to give some feedback on that too. All right. So when we're trying to create abundance, the flow of abundance into one's life, we focus on what we're grateful for. Even if it's right down the wire to, I'm so grateful for this $4 that I have to go meet my friend and have a tea with that friend. I'm so grateful for this time, this abundance of time that I get to spend with my friend. So every little tiny thing in your life, you focus on appreciating the time, the sleep you're getting, the rest you're getting, the time off from the job maybe you had that really sucked ass. So every moment you're looking at what you're grateful for. Positive thinking. What attracts in abundance? Heavy, low vibrational thinking or more positive thinking? Positive thinking. Absolutely. I agree. And I'll tell you right now, Catherine, boy, did I walk that path. 2 things my angel did. She gave me 2 pieces of homework 15 years ago when I had chronic lack thinking floating through my head. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my rent? How? It just went on and on and on. And it was like an old tape pattern that I couldn't get out of. I just couldn't get out of it. There was just no way on my own 2 feet I was going to get out of it. So the way out of it from my angel's assistance 15 years ago was, 1, I observe my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and any of the heavy ones that are sinking my frequency, I hand off to my angels to transmute into the light 25 times a day for the first 2 weeks. The next week after that, 10 times a day. The next week after that, 5 times a day. And you'll find that those low vibrational thoughts can't come back because they're constantly getting transmuted. Okay? So that in turn will help lift your frequency. You'll have more high vibrational thoughts. Those low vibrational worries, just you can't focus on them, or you're not a vibrational match for them anymore. So you just, I know what that is. I'm just going to hand it back out to my angels. Okay. Second piece was, even though this is what is in my reality, I'm temporarily not going to look at it. And I'm going to do my best. I promised myself 1 month. Okay. So that's what I chose to do. So for 1 month, I enjoyed life as if I didn't have debt, as if I didn't focus on what was. And if I went over there, I handed it off to my angels. No, I handed it off to my angels. So all I did was I rested, I slept in, I went out and visited with friends, I went for bike rides, my whole soul focus was handing off the density and focusing on the lighter aspects of my reality with the money that I had. And then the third piece that Jim is mentioning right here that came into my proximity, which really helped to shift me. And this book uses the word God a lot. Back then I wasn't big on using the word God. So I changed it to source, universal oneness, light and love, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. It's just a label. Light and Love, The Abundance Book by John Price. And when you start working from that book, it starts to help shift you into an abundant thought forms and a way of being. Even if you're just going through the motion and you're not feeling it, doesn't matter, because you're saying it, you're focusing on it, and you're doing it. Therefore, you are manifesting it into being. And always, always remember that abundance comes in ways that you may not even have imagined yet. It doesn't just come in the way of a job paying you. Money can come in many different ways. Gifts can come in many different ways. I remember my car breaking down and I asked Jesus to help me replace it. Never in a million years did I think that I'd be in a car accident with Jesus in the passenger seat. Car was written off. Policewoman was behind me as the ultimate witness. And next thing you know, I had a big check coming in the mail to cover the next car coming in. In fact, I had money left over. So abundance can come in ways that you can't imagine. And anything is possible. But the first place it's going to stem from is you. Your frequency, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. Turn a blind eye to what is temporarily. Hand off the low vibrational thoughts. Focus on the lighter aspects of your reality in order to help lift and raise your frequency. If your frequency and your thoughts are in the trenches all the time, it's not much fun living like that. So do the homework to dig yourself out and watch the abundance flow in. And the last thing I'd like to say on abundance is tied in with the abundance book, which is only like $60. I think it's $1 on Kindle last I heard. Okay, so if you can't afford $1 for the abundance book, we got issues, right? But affirmations are huge. We are talking with Louise L. Hay today, are we not? The queen of affirmations. All of my needs are met abundantly for me now and always. Money flows easily and effortlessly into my bank account in ways that I have not yet even imagined. As I spend money, money flows back into my account. Every time I see that, I know money's coming back into my bank account. Over and over and over again. We got this far with these kinds of low vibrational thoughts over years. So it's going to take homework to shift you in a different direction. Any other guidance? Louise is saying, do it, do it, do it. Do the homework and make it count. Okay? Don't just do it half-assed or half. No. Do it like it counts, because it does. Okay. I'm going to say one last thing. You guys have all heard me say this before. Does a bear out in the woods worry about debt? Does a whale in the ocean think about how much money it has in its bank account? No. So why are we the only animal on planet Earth that is so fixated on this? Because it's the societal norm trap of what others are doing. But you don't need to live that. And you don't need to be that way. But it's going to take a little bit of time. Just shift yourself out of that. And there may even be moments where you go back into that. And then you shift yourself out of that from time to time. None of the angels have lack thinking. Jesus doesn't think about lack thinking. The archangel Michael doesn't think about lack thinking. So there's only one person to turn to change it. Be like the bear, be like the whale. I love that meme online. Saturn, Pluto, Mars, they don't have debt. Why do we have debt on Earth? Right? So you can go let the others on Earth be that way if they want, but we can shift things, we can change things. All right. Yes, focus on what you want to appear in your reality instead of reacting to what is currently happening in your third dimensional reality. Music to my ears, faith. And love yourself. Know that you deserve nothing but the best, and the universe is benevolent and generous. I agree. Universe, sending it out, attracting it in. Absolutely. Ask your relatives, ask, for them to help open doors and bring in abundance. Just don't have it set in your head as to how you think that abundance is going to come in. I'm open to abundance coming into my life in all ways. It might be a thought form that enters your friend's mind that just says something to you in that moment. And you're like, whoa, that was an amazing idea. Or it might be you going along and you have this incredible insight that enters your head. I mean, it could be like they'll lead you down the trail and they'll take you where you need to go. That too. Also, when you're happy, you lift and raise in vibrational frequency and be attracted. You know, abundance is a wonderful frequency. I want abundance for everybody, everyone, everybody. Yeah, and follow the synchronicities and feel it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I ain't carrying it. I am not carrying that doo-doo anymore. Yeah. $1 on Kindle. Yeah, exactly right. Audrey Hepburn said that impossible is actually I'm possible. Love it. For a lot of people, this conversation that we're having right now might be too fluffy and too high vibrational for them. It's like, whatever. But that's okay. When you're ready to shift and change, then you'll shift and change. Otherwise, you'll keep manifesting the same. You'll keep reoccurring the same pattern, right? Love it, Lisa. In the beginning, I was like, affirmations, like, okay, But then when you start actually seeing stuff happening in your life, like somebody gives you $50, or I remember I was cleaning this person's home. She was such a earth angel, that one. And she's like, I want you to have this $100. And I was like, what? She's like, no, you've done an amazing job. And, you've been here with us and I want you to have it. And then it was 2 weeks later and she gave me another $100. So like when you have abundant thinking, it is the law of attraction. It must flow to you. It has to. You are the creator of your reality. That is just how it is. That's the fact of the matter, really. Good. I'm glad I'm doing that for you, Nikki. Because I remember seeing this man get up on stage in front of it was like 50 to 100 people. And he was like, he just outright asked them, does a bear in the woods think about death? And everybody was like, no. And I remember watching this video like, oh my God. And he goes, does a whale out in the ocean worry about how much money it has in its bank account? I'm like, no. And then I'm thinking about apes and elephants in my head, tigers and lions and, often people wonder how a whale goes from this part of the ocean to that part every year. Or how did it know where that grouping of krill was going to be for dinner? How do they know that? How do the whales know where to go for food? Because the whales are so in tune to the energy. I bet the energy is guiding them to where the food is, the food source. That, and they're probably hearing where the food source is, and they must be feeling drawn to where the berries are in the forest, or where when the salmon run is running. They know this because they follow their intuition, they follow the feeling, they follow the energy. So it's really important that us animals also do the same. Be like the bear, be like the whale. We don't have to be like everybody else in society, trapped in that system of lack thinking and fear about money. That's a choice too, by the way. You can choose that or not. That was such a mind blower when I watched that guy on stage and everybody was like this. And I remember that moment. I said to myself, whatever I'm going to do in the future, however I'm going to do it, I'm always going to remember this, and I'm going to talk about it as much as I can on camera so other people hear it. I remember thinking that right in that moment. I was like, yeah. Because everybody needs to hear this. Everybody. All right, everybody. Last words. You are your own creators, your own manifestors. Do not point the finger at someone else or put blame on others. Turn your attention, your direction towards yourself, inwards. Make the necessary changes that you know need to be made, and do the homework that has been given today in order to free yourself, to lift upward, to rise up, to glide above the density. She says, it's so wonderful up here. Won't you come and join me? Thank you, dear ones. This is Louisa.